Hi guys! My first attempt at live. So I think because it says live and the time's going, I'm live. So I don't know how I'm going to see your questions or anything like that. But I thought this would be fun. I want to do it as often as I can so that I can actually communicate with you guys. Um, is anyone here? Some messages. Okay, it looks like I've made all messages visible. I guess I could just talk about what's on my mind until I see if anybody's here. Um, what's on my mind? Well, lots of things. I'm just hitting like 250, 260 subscribers because I was talking about really interesting topics like menstrual blood and how you can use that in magic and witchcraft and how powerful you are and how much of a goddess you are during that time. Um, I love the live sessions that Witches Sable and Blonde do together because they're there with each other and they can talk to each other and then they can talk to their followers. If Irene was here, that would be really cool. We could do a live chat. She might be coming over on Sunday. We've been trying really hard to get together, but it just doesn't happen every time. If you didn't know, I quit smoking cigarettes I started when I was like 11 or 12. And then I quit like 5 years ago and now I use my vape. So that's a little bit about me. Who's out there? Who's watching? I have a lot to say. Yeah, a lot of people ask me if they should start witchcraft YouTube channels. And all I have to say is if you have a cell phone and a couple of lights, go spend $40 on a tripod, and that's all you need. Everybody should be doing it so that we get more people involved and excited about witchcraft and all the things that you can do. I mean, we all come to a point where we have no hope in our life, and if you had something like witchcraft in your life, it would be so easy to bring yourself out of those situations where you might feel hopeless because you know that you have the strength and the power within you, especially if you're a woman. If you're a man, you have different strengths, okay? And I'll try and look into those different male strengths. But for instance, you know, that life force that males produce, that can definitely be used in magics. That life force of the fluid that is produced after an encounter can absolutely be used in magic and passion work, fertility work, love renewal, things like that. It says one person is here. Who's here? You guys, I'm so not technologically savvy. Trying to figure out what all this stuff is. Oh, just normal. There we go. Normal. I've pushed a button. That's fun. Bubbles! Where's like the OK button? Just go normal. Oh, anyway. Witchcraft. I want to do videos and talk to you guys live, so we should definitely set up a time where we can go live and everybody's here talking to me, and or I should figure out how exactly this works. But one topic I wanted to talk about while I was live and just chit-chat nobbling was Do people want to know if you can start a YouTube channel? Yes, absolutely. It's so easy. If I'm doing it here on my bed, and yeah, I have fancy things and stuff on the other side of my room, you can do it. But I wanted to make this bed shot just to show you, like, you can do something with nothing, and you can make friends here on this network, and it's absolutely amazing. It's changed my life for the better in so many ways. And if you wonder if you're a witch because it's not a hereditary thing, that's baloney. We're all witches. We all have the power to do it. It's just, are you engaging it, you know? Are you engaging it? There we go. So, it says I have 2 people watching, but I can't seem to figure out the comments. All messages are visible for the live chat. I don't see any messages, so I'll figure out how to do this a little bit better. Again, I think it would be fun if I had some interactive... Oh, hello, Vicky, Anna. Yay! I figured out how it worked. Hi! So happy to have you here. Do you have any questions, Vicky? Or anyone? More about witchcraft, like, how do you know if you're a witch? This was a question I had when I was getting into, like, really deep witchcraft and, like, understanding all of it before I actually went to a metaphysical shop, found someone I trusted, a witch that was there, who owned the shop, and I said, how do I know if I can be a witch? And she said, my sister, it's in all of us. And I was like, ugh. And that's kind of what I thought anyway, but, like, once somebody tells that to you, and then she talked to me a lot about, you know, menstrual blood and how she's going through menopause now, and she wishes she still had it, but when she was menstruating, she certainly used it for super powerful stuff. Hi, Vicky. Okay, advice for a witch who just started and wants to expand her craft. Absolutely. So a lot of my videos, Vicky, if I don't know if you're a new subscriber or not, but what I did when I was a new witch and wanted to start it all was I binge watched Lady Gravedancer, and I watched all of her videos. So I suggest, as a new witch, watch a few different YouTubers. I think that you should watch a bunch of me and a bunch of Lady Gravedancer, and who else do I adore? Evazada Everdark. She's a little British witch and she wears a mask and she's awesome. Evazada Everdark. But you should also get books and find out if you're into herbalism, or if your main focus is divination, or you just have always been drawn to crystals. So what have you always been drawn to? Tell me in a comment what you've always been drawn to, and I can kind of help you categorize maybe what kind of witch you are. I definitely suggest the Witches and Pagans Amino app. Without that app, I would not be here where I am today with the confidence of what I'm doing. So definitely check that out. And actually, I found that out because I was watching Harmony Nice Enchanted Endeavors. I love her stuff, but she's so edited that it's hard to watch. And that's one reason why I don't edit my stuff, is because when I watch these YouTube videos, it's hard to watch all this choppiness, yeah? And you don't feel like you get to really see that person for everything that they are. And I love Harmony Nice, and I love everything she has to say about stuff. She's got a really cool Wiccan journey that she's on. My advice to a new witch, though, don't get frustrated because you don't think you have all the things. Like, for instance, when I started learning about witchcraft and Wicca and paganism, and it seemed very, like, a lot to take in at once. But then I realized, like, you can be an eclectic witch. You can use all kinds of gods and goddesses, or you can use just the earth and connect with that and honor that and give offerings to that. You don't have to be religious to be a witch, which I think is really amazing. I do, and I hate the word use, I do work with gods. I work with Bastet. I work with my spirit guides. I work with Isis. I work with Jesus. And I work with Mary. And I hope I don't lose subscribers over saying that. But Jesus and Mary were the staples of me becoming a good, well-rounded person in my childhood. And now I honor them because they made me a good, well-rounded person in my childhood. And when I was scared, the only God I knew at that time was Jesus. Okay, advice for a witch who just started and wants to expand her craft. I am on the app. Where'd the message go? It is so late here, but I wanted to drop by. I will look more into YouTubers and watch their videos. Sadly, I have to go, but thanks for the advice. Yeah, absolutely, Vicky. Thanks for joining. Thanks for being a part of the video. I super appreciate it. And I'm the Taxidermy Witch on that app, so you can find me. Have beautiful sleep. And if you're not into meditations, Vicky, definitely start getting into meditations. That's a really good way to connect with the earth when you're first into the craft, okay? What else? I have now over 200 videos on YouTube. I think I have 250, somewhere around there, and at least a video a day for the last 7 or 8 weeks. Yeah, it's been 2 full moons, so like 7 or 8 weeks. And I've just been pushing out content as much as I can because I want to have as many friends and as many community, like make this a really super rad community. Which I say a lot, but it's really important to me. My cats, I have 5 cats. I have Otis, the youngest, Rosebud, Jack, Chloe, and Bazinga. And Bazinga and Rosebud mostly stay inside now. In the summer they were all out, but now some of them have come back in. And, well, they bring me presents, and I am the Taxidermy Witch, and they are cats, and nature is nature. But Jack has been doing some crazy things, like leaving me birds that are decapitated. Sick little guy. Or Otis, okay, this is funny. Me and Alex saw Otis out in the yard from the living room window, okay? And not all of our cats have tails, but Otis does, because Jack and Chloe have stumps. They're bobtailed lynx. So Otis is in the yard and he's like sitting like this. And you can see his tail sticking out behind him. But then you can see this other giant tail in front of his face. And I was like, wait, is that his tail? No, that's not his tail. And then behind it, okay. So I was like, he's got something. And Alex ran out in the yard. And Otis was just like laying on this squirrel. And this big bushy tail was in front of him. And if anybody who's watching has questions, please type them. So Alex ran out there and like shooed Otis off the squirrel, and then the squirrel was just kind of like hobbled off into the bushes, and I was thinking, you know, it's not going to make it. Otis probably really got into him. Yeah. There it is. Okay. Otis already got into him, and so anyway, a day and a half later, there was a squirrel laying in the yard. I'm guessing it was the same squirrel. So what do you do when your cats or an earth gives you an offering like that you can use in the future to make taxidermy and witchcraft out of, to use the spirit out of the animal? Now, this squirrel is actually a cool one because I actually met the squirrel before it passed away. And I think it was the same squirrel, you know. So now it's in our freezer. And one of my best girlfriend YouTubers, Violet Tames, VioletTaimes, she's got a rad witchcraft channel, and she is young. She's like 18 years old, been doing witchcraft for years, and taxidermy work on her own, cleaning bones. I mean, really awesome, awesome stuff that's like old folk, you know, magic, really. Using the bones of animals, using taxidermy and parts of animals. So she messaged me and said, I have a squirrel. No. She said, I'm going to be cleaning a chipmunk on my channel. And I was like, oh my god, that's so perfect, because I just got a squirrel. Now there's a big difference. The squirrel's got a big ass bushy tail, and the chipmunk's just got like a tiny tail. But that's okay. I think I can figure it out by like doing what she does. So anytime you get something like taxidermy or otherwise, you just want to put it in the freezer, like feathers even, because you want to kill any mites, viruses, anything that might be attached to that. I know a lot of us just want to pick them up and touch them, which, to be quite honest, is what I do. And then I put them in a bag and bring them home and put them in the freezer. Da-da-da. Put them in my altar, let them in. What else? Eleanor's really happy. My friend Maddie from New Zealand that I met from YouTube, she is in love with Eleanor, and she is a friend of mine, and I think she works in a little metaphysical shop. She sent me a picture of like her at work and these crystals, and she said, I think this one would be great for Eleanor. And I was telling that story, I think last night or the night before, about Eleanor, and I'm clairaudient with a couple of my taxidermy and mannequin pieces. And if you don't know what clairaudience is, it's when you hear voices in your head. And I gotta tell you, as a child, that was a super scary thing. But after I became so super lonely, I got depressed as like a 3-year-old, and I can remember being 3 and 4 and probably even 2. I became clairaudient, and I think that was a gift from the gods. Like, you know, you're so lonely, you're such a solemn person. And so I think that's why I enjoy YouTube so much, is because I get to have friends from all over the world that pick to be my friend, and you know, you guys can't emotionally vampire off of me, really, and that's nice. But in my life, I've had a lot of people that just want to, like, emotionally suck everything out of you. I see I have another watcher. If you guys have any questions, please throw them up there. I want to answer any questions that you may have. If you want to see any pieces of taxidermy, I could probably grab them down for you or take you to them. Is this a question? Oh, that's just the same question. Thanks, Vicky Emma, for your comments. I'm going to be doing some really cool egg spells here, and you can actually do scrying. Ding, 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 ding. By putting a pin in the top of the egg, making a hole at the top and a hole at the bottom, and dribbling it all out. But you want to place some water in the bottom, and I'm going to be putting moon water down there. So I've got that set up, and then I've got this one that I'm going to be doing to drain it, and then put peppercorns in it, and then you bury it for protection for your home garden, to keep the evil eye away, and to keep people that are negative out of your home. Now I have to tell you guys, I had this person, and I don't want to say like how they're related to me or whatever, because people are eventually finding my channel, and I can't talk about people I know, you know, so I have to like make up names like Bernard or whatever. Okay, so there's this like neighbor that comes over all the time, and he, like, when I get off of work from the bar, it's like, you know, sometimes between like 11, midnight, whatever, or waitressing like 10 a.m. I get home, and he's like outside of his house smoking because Anthea, my car, is so loud. So when he hears me coming, I know he comes outside for a smoke. And then I'm in like my waitressing outfit, which is kind of nice or whatever. And then he like comes out and just tries to just chat me up, like, because he lives right next door. And like, I just got off work. Like, I want to come home. I want to change my clothes. I want to get, I don't want to chat you up. So here's how it comes back to witchcraft. I made a special salt, and late at night, like 3, 4 in the morning, when I knew that he would definitely be asleep and not be up drinking, because sometimes he ups up to like 2, I went to the place where his property line comes to mine, okay? Where he always walks over to talk to me at night when he's drinking about blah blah blah. How was work? Did you make a lot of tips? Oh, you look nice. Enough. Enough. I put this line of sand, and I'll do a video on what was in the sand. But the next night, so I did that at 4 in the morning. Went to work the next day at like 5. Came home at 11. Got home 11:30. He's out there, blah, 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 and he literally can't walk over the line. Like, he keeps trying to lift up his foot to go, but it just won't go. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about that you can get with witchcraft. And you don't even have to be a super powerful witch. You just have to have that intention and have that, not anger, but that fire of desire. Like, something really pisses you off or gets you upset. It's going to be enough energy to affect your craft. And let me, for example, tell you this. When I was little, and I believe that I practiced witchcraft on just a completely a level of intuition purely, and I had no idea what any of it was, even from the Hollywood influence at that point. But if I was angry with somebody, I would sit there and I would get angry and I would cry and I would say words out loud like, I can't believe they did this. I wish that all the bad stuff they've ever done would just bite them in the butt. I wish that they would feel what I feel. I wish. During crying, I can cause a storm of emotion, and so can you. If you're someone who can cry and get really angry and then know how to calm it down and keep it all within your own eggshell or bubble and not affect anybody else by it, you can directly, with no ingredients, with no herbs, with no stones, with no wand, with nothing, you can directly affect someone and cause a spell and cause magic to happen and get what you want. And this has happened to me when I was little a lot, and as an adult quite a few times. And then, now that I know how to use it, I use it all the time. So I have points where I'll sit down, and instead of like maybe doing like up a return to sender spell, I will sit there and just cause a storm of my own hate, anger, emotion, what I want to get. And I know that that sounds bad, but it's the truth. And I mean, you guys, I told you about that like return to sender I did a while ago when I did my 100 subscriber Q&A, and you guys were asking about if I ever did a spell and then got really like sick or like overwhelmed from it or just felt bad afterwards. I had a massage client, and had him. So he was, like a huge man, hockey instructor, pretty wife, cute little daughter, kind of perfect life. But he was also a billet. Like, he had young girls from around the country stay with him and be their hockey instructor so that they had a place to stay and be a part of his team. It's called a billet. Well, when I was over at their house, because I would bring the massage table to their house, they used to like buy their billets massage, and billets are underage, they're under 18. And in the US that makes them a minor. You're not an adult till you're 18 in the US. So they would have these billets, and when they got on the massage table they reeked of alcohol. So I would tell the guy and his wife, your billets are drinking, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's not like we can stop them." And I was like, that's insane. And then later, so I kept massaging him. If you guys have any questions, just pop them up, please. I want to answer questions. That's why I'm here. I'm telling stories right now to fill up the time. So I thought it was really weird. Got a weird energy from the vibe between him, the girls, the wife. It was all really weird. And the wife is a elementary school principal, a dean of students. So the fact that like minors were drinking in her home and she was, that was her job, was really upsetting. And so eventually I just like, okay, they weren't paying me enough, and then one time they gave me a bundle of money for my time, and then I counted it when I got home and it was $40 short. Well, they always give me a $40 tip because I give them two massages and they give me $200 and then they give me a $40 tip. Every single time it's the same thing for 4 years. You'd think that I would have raised my prices, but I'm an idiot when it comes to that. I can't ask for more money. It's hard. So anyway, that's why I do magic for coin now, So anyway, every time I would massage him, A, it was super hard because he's this giant bulky man, but B, he would never ever talk to me, and the energy vibe that I got off of him made me physically ill. Like, I would have to leave in the middle of massage to say I'm going to use the bathroom to go pee or something, and I would literally vomit and come back. I'm an empath, okay? This energy that I was absorbing was so disgusting, so black, so murky. Finally I stopped going to him. And I told him a lie, and I said that my car was broken and I couldn't go see him anymore. And then his wife would text me and say, "Oh, bless you, I'm so sorry, I know how hard that is." And then he texts me, and I hadn't seen that. I used to come every single week for 4 hours for 4 years, and every single time vomit during his massage. It was horrible. Not worth the money. So finally, he texts me and says, "You ever coming back?" ? And that pissed me off beyond belief. Like, I told him that I was going through family trouble, I was going through, which was true, and car trouble and all this, and all you can say is, "You ever coming back?" Like, you don't give a shit about me. And he didn't. So that pissed me off. So then after that, I sent him a message and then I blocked them. And the message said, his name. I wish I still had the message, but it's on my phone right there. It said, his name, you and your wife are horrible people. I can't believe what you do with your billet situation. Every time I've massaged you, I've had to leave to go to throw up. You are a bad man, and I can't tell you why, but you deserve everything that's coming to you, and that's all I said. And then I blocked them both, okay? And then, like 4 days later, I went home and I did that storm thing I'm talking about, where I just sit there and I just cry and get mad and think, and just like, my brain just swells with energy, okay? And this might be, like, for this instance, this was 3 hours of sitting in my room and thinking, what is he doing? He deserves everything that's coming to him. Long story short, about 2 months after I left their house, after I stopped massaging them, a girl who I massaged when she was 17 years old, and she's now 19, said that that man was sexually assaulting her when she was living at the house. So she pressed charges against him. And I found out about that from a mutual friend that we have about 7 days after I did that spell. Or whatever you want to call it. Sat there and cried and got angry. I call it a personal storm creation. I don't know what else to call it. But the energy that you project from being that focused, that angry, that at one person at one time is so fucking powerful. And that's all I gotta say. If you have nothing else but just yourself and a witch's tears, from what I hear, are quite special. If you're one of those people that are just able to produce tears like me, it's a special thing. So I would love some more questions. If anybody has questions, please pop them down right now, because I think I'm going to shoot another regular video. And then I will probably plan these live videos on like a certain time so that maybe I can have more people join in. But yeah, this was super fun. And make sure that you come and check out my little egg spells that I'll have going on. And yeah, thanks for listening to my story. And witchcraft is the most beautiful thing that's ever come into my life, and it's always been a part of my life. Since I was a little girl on the farm with the cows and the chickens and the pigs and the grass and the grasshoppers and the flowers and the corn and the carrots and the peas and everything that was around me, climbing trees, making tree forts. Like, if you don't have that in your life, and you never have, even as an adult, make it part of your life. Why can't you be in a tree fort, you know? Why can't you? It'd be amazing. Oh, my love to you guys. I'll come back for another live soon. I gotta figure out when's a good time to do it. So, thank you for those of you who commented. All my love, Jen the Taxidermy Witch.